So my husband and I made the leap of faith to escape our blue state of Washington, which has been the best blessing of our life, and move to Wyoming. But don't worry, I know it doesn't exist, so don't come here. But what I've realized is since moving here, you don't realize how crazy this toxic bubble that you live in for so long because it's such normalcy until you actually are able to get away from it and get out of that bubble and see how insane everything really is. Living in Wyoming this as long as we have, it hasn't even been a year. It's Sunday today. Everything is closed. People are doing yard work, spending time with their family, going to church. It's such a different, it's the way that it's supposed to be. In my opinion, it's the way that it's supposed to be. Everybody here is hardworking, neighborly. It is just such a different pace of life. You don't realize how toxic of an environment you're living in. This is the moral of the story. And I swear, moving out of a blue state into a red state is now becoming like my personality because it's soul giving. It's soul giving. So my husband and I made the...
Yeah, it'll change your life. It'll change your life. These blue states are run in absolutely terrible fashion. And we're seeing it all over the place, right? In every single blue state. You have places like New York and California. Yes, I call it California, not California. Amongst others, Illinois, all losing population. So it comes the 2030 census, they're going to lose seats. All of those seats, all those people are flocking to red states like Florida, like Texas, right? In South Carolina. And so my only thing is this. If you're a Democrat and you're leaving your blue state for whatever reason, cost of living, crime, terrible policies, whatever it is, understand that the reason why you're in that position is because you voted blue. So when you go to your new state, do not still vote blue. I don't care what the individual says, because that's exactly what you were doing back in your old state, was listening to what these Democrats were saying and voting for them because it sounds good. Because that's all Democrats do. They get up there, oh yeah, we want free health care, we want free this and free that. We don't think anybody should ever have to suffer and blah, 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 blah. Just a bunch of fluffy, feel-good nonsense that never actually works in reality. And so people, oh yeah, absolutely, sign me up. Yes, I want to vote for that. And then your state or your city turns into a poop hole. I'm trying to keep it PG here. I almost said SHIT. It turns into a crap hole. And then you wonder why. Oh, but they promised me everything. Yeah, they did. They sure did. They promised you that they were going to make everything free, and so they tried to tax the rich, and then the rich people left, and then that left. Their only option to get the funds was to tax you even more. So then your property taxes went up and your gas tax went up and this tax went up and they still couldn't make ends meet. So then they defunded the police. So not only are you getting taxed more and having less, but now your streets are unsafe. So now you're worried about getting robbed and mugged and your car is getting broke into. So you're having to spend money on that. And it's just a revolving cycle of nonsense. Nonsense. We literally just talked about a similar situation in Chicago, right? Where Mayor Brandon Johnson, I was trying to think of his name, has run off the big money, right? Companies have left. And so now he's being forced to raise property taxes, which is something that he promised he was not going to do. He promised on the campaign trail he wasn't going to be. His words were run with the lazy option and raise property taxes, but that's exactly what he ended up doing anyway, to the point where some individuals had their property taxes raised 100%. I'm not kidding. Their property taxes went up 100%. Across the board, it was like an average of like 17%, but there were some places whose property taxes went up 100%. It's voting blue. Okay? We us folks on the right, we welcome anybody and everybody. And all of you watching, y'all know I'm telling the truth. Right? We welcome anybody and everybody. This nonsense of Republicans are mean and nasty and terrible people. BS. I've experienced it myself. I ain't always been a Republican. And you know who's always treated me the best? Republicans. Even when people could clearly see that I was still leaning towards the Democrat side, I was still trying to get the Democrats to prove me right. Yeah, come on, Democrats. Nobody treated me with any type of disrespect. The only disrespect that I've ever gotten on this journey that I call discovering the truth have been from Democrats. That's it. And I got the messages to prove it. It's only been from Democrats. So I don't want to hear that nonsense. We welcome anybody and everybody, but if you're going to start moving to Republican states, make sure you actually change your voting ways as well. Now, I got this other clip where I believe she actually states that she votes red too. So
escaped our blue state of Washington and moved to Wyoming, and it's been the greatest blessing of our life. Now, the first thing we did was find remote work because there's no work here and everything is seasonal.
Yeah, so there it is. She says, yes, we vote red. Smart. Shout out to Natalie Storm. Go give her a follow. Her @ is right there on the screen on TikTok if you want to go give her a follow. You can pause that. Natalie Storm 01. Let her know I sent you, all right?
And we wanted zip code freedom and time freedom, so that's what we did to make it happen. So highly recommend. Anyone that wants to get out of their blue nasty bubble, I hope and pray that you can, because it's just going to get worse in those areas. Washington is not going to get cleaned up anytime soon. And for any of you questioning if it's really that bad, watching and seeing all the overdoses and hearing about the drug problem, seeing it firsthand downtown Seattle, seeing it firsthand, oh my gosh, even in Puyallup, in Eatonville, in Tacoma/Tecompton, like, you see tweakers on the side of the road all the time. On every stop sign in an intersection, you find a peddler. Off every freeway. These are facts. And if you don't see it, it's because you don't want to see it. Drive down Spanaway. Tell me you don't lock your doors immediately. Insane. Now, the way the government decided to handle that situation is take your tax dollars and say, we're going to help with the overdose problem by providing the drugs and the needles for them, so that we can actually make sure that they're not getting too much.
Yeah, that is something. Washington isn't the only place that they're doing stuff like that. That is happening in a lot of different Democrat strongholds, where instead of actually getting these people off these drugs, putting these folks in facilities, they're just giving them drugs. And it's like, huh? Or if they're not giving them drugs, they're giving them clean needles and things. And it's like, why? What are we doing here? I would much rather, if you're going to spend my tax dollars on it, I would much rather you spend my tax dollars, even if it's a little bit more. I would much rather you spend my tax dollars on getting these people off the streets, putting them into a sober living home or whatever you call it, a facility to help people get off their addictions. I would rather you spend it on that than buying these folks needles and things. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous. That means there's a never-ending cycle of the same thing. My tax dollars are never going to ever stop being used for that purpose or dropped any but at least if you put them in facilities and try to get them off the drugs, there's a chance that instead of spending $100 million on this, you start spending $50 million because you've gotten all of these individuals off the streets, and now it's kind of dwindled down to, there's a few people that trickle into the streets and on drugs because that's just the way things go in blue states, because they don't want to arrest people and put them in jail for a long period of time. But, hey, I would rather my money be spent on that than needles.
I'm sorry, what? Are you kidding me? That's what your tax dollars are paying for. That's what you people have voted in your blue state. Now, if you think this isn't red versus blue, you're delusional, because I guarantee you, reds do not vote to keep that in their stratosphere. That is the difference. That's why, unfortunately, this is red versus blue. People are so sick of the way that things are run and not cleaning up the system. And especially when you live in a place that is taxed up the yin yang like Washington state, and you watch where your tax dollars are going, you want to get the F out of there. Found a place where we could raise our son without losing our parental rights the second he hits the school system. That's terrifying. You also voted that in too. The second my son goes to school, he is going to be allowed to get prescriptions without my knowledge and without my say. He's able to get hormone blockers without my knowledge and without my say in the school. Are you kidding me? Absolutely not. Not on my watch. I brought him to a place where I can raise him to be the man, the strong man that he is, where they still make men. They don't have any here. Highly recommend. If you think for a second that you have any say as a parent in Washington state, you're delusional.
Yeah. That's another thing with these blue states, man. It's just like, y'all have really gone off the deep end. I mean, you really have. You really have. Oh, geez, I'm pressing the wrong button here. There we go. Wrong button.
Now that I moved out of blue state into a red. Here's a list of things I don't worry about now that I moved out of blue state into a red state. I don't worry about my kid being kidnapped. I don't worry about the homeless that might break into my car. I don't.
You still should probably worry about the kidnap part just a little bit. Obviously, crime isn't typically as prevalent in red areas as it is in blue, but you don't want to be that one-off. You know what I mean? You don't want to be that one situation that's happened in the past 10 years. You know, not saying that she doesn't already worry. You know, still kind of watch and worry about it, but man, yeah, that happens everywhere. Unfortunately, anybody, I just saw the FedEx. Was it FedEx? I think the FedEx driver that kidnapped and pine boxed that little girl, he was just sentenced to death in Texas, which, hey, shout out Texas, baby. Shout out Texas. If you harm the children, yeah, I said children. I don't know why I wanted to say that. But if you harm the children, the kids, you deserve the death penalty, 100%. 100%. You know, that little girl should still be alive today.
About homeless encampments on, you know, any activity outside that I would want to do if they're camped near a lake or a stream or everywhere. Like, you want to go for a walk? Well, there's an encampment. Good luck. The safety. Living in a red state is so much safer. So much safer, because I guarantee you, if there's one little screw loose and somebody trying to attack somebody or steal their groceries or kidnap their kid, you got a swarm of bees around you protecting you. I guarantee you there would be like freaking 5 or 10 cowboys going, I've got you. Absolutely not. And everyone's packing.
Yep, there you go. That's what I was going to say. I was like, forget about that. Everybody got them things on them. So, you know, an armed society is a polite society because everybody knows, hey, I better be on the up and up because he got one, he got one, he got one, she got one, he got one, she got one, she got one, he got one. You know, everybody got one. So if I act a fool, I ain't going too far with this one. I am not going too far. But then also, you know, in red areas don't defund the police the same way blue areas do. So you've got plenty of police officers that are around and available. So that as well.
Everyone. Love it. I love it. It's how America should be, because you have people with, I mean, mind you, every state, you have, people are people. Okay. Let's just make that clear. I am not ignorant to the fact that there are good guys and bad guys. There are people with screws loose that probably shouldn't have their pew-pews. And there are people that have the education behind it. They have all the bells and whistles that they should. They have the knowledge. They have, you know, they've earned the right to carry. Okay, let's just be clear. So I am not that ignorant of a girl. However, if you don't have the education, you shouldn't carry, period. That's why I don't carry yet. But you bet your butt my husband does. So living in a place where you don't have to worry so much about so many little things. Oh my God, there's just so many more. Like, there isn't trash everywhere. Yeah, Wyoming has wind. It blows things from other people's yard into other people's yard. I go around picking up trash that blew into my yard, whatever. Like, but there's not just like nasty. I mean, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Drive through Seattle. Just drive on the freeway and look. Look on the side of the freeway. It's disgusting. I've never seen so much trash in my life. And the first time I realized this was actually when I came home from a trip to Whistler, driving through Canada, seeing how clean and pristine their roads were, and just there wasn't garbage anywhere. And you drove back down into Seattle and you realized what it was. Like, oh my God. But the crime rate is so not here. Okay. Now, I'm sure there's people that live here going, oh my gosh, there's so many more people here. The crime is out of control, whatever. But compared to a blue state, this is heaven on earth. Heaven on earth. There are so many places for you to go out in the wilderness.
Feels like you can go back in the old days and just leave your doors and your windows open, huh? In comparison to what you used to, man, oh man. But yeah, I mean, she's right. Red states and red cities are much better.
With your family, there's so many opportunities for you to go play with your kiddos. There's so many different play areas. Like, it's so family oriented that you have so many options. I can't even express it enough. It's in my soul. So thank you, Wyoming, for being such a beautiful state and having pride in keeping it tried and true, like keeping it true to just the way that you guys are here. I'm just so humbled and thankful to be here. And the second you get out of the bubble of a blue state, the second you start to see so much clearer how things should be, and there's no pushback on how things should be, because everyone has that way of life here because it makes sense. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well said. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. And in red states, you do make sense. And the government doesn't take them away from you like they do in blue states. So yeah. Hey, shout out to her, man. Shout out to her. Shout out to Natalie. Let me throw her up on the screen real quick. Throw her page up there. There it is. All right. So if you want to give her a follow, there it is. Pause it if you need to. If you follow her, let her know I sent you. Escape the blue state to live in heaven. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Shout out to Natalie, though. All right? Shout out to Natalie. But yeah, you know, and I'm happy that she also stated that, yeah, I vote red. Because you can bet your, matter of fact, let me go to that comment section and see. Was it this? Yeah. As a registered Democrat who moved to a red state, I ended up voting red, and honestly, it changed my entire perspective. Red states just seem to get it right in ways I didn't expect. So glad I made that decision. Oh, here's another individual who was a registered Democrat who moved to a red state and voted red. So, hey, shout out to her too. Sacred, keep our red states red. Yeah, I figured I'd see that comment. Because it's just common sense, and it's just like, yo, don't come over here, man, messing up what we got going on. Okay? Just because your house is a mess, don't come dirtying up mine. All right? So I'm happy that she did address that. Like, yo, no, listen, guys, I vote red, okay? You know, because listen, we don't want that nonsense either. Okay? You're welcome over here. But keep that blue stuff away. Keep it away, please. Anyway, y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions about all of this. Have you come across this at all? Have you heard of anybody that's like this, moved to a red state and absolutely loved it? It changed their whole perspective on Republicans in red states or red areas. Let me know. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.